Right, so this last little section is on how to use a function. So just to make sure that we're totally happy with how you call the functions that you've made. I'm going to set up a new function called squared, and with an input of number, and all this is going to do is square the number that you put in. So answer equals number squared, and return answer. And we'll load that in, and we've got something to work with. So remember, to use these functions, you need to set up your input parameter. You can choose to keep the same name as you're doing this. You have the answer, so what you're going to get out your function is equal to your function name and the input parameter. And you need to print out the answer. 4 squared is 16. Your other way of doing this, if you don't want to specify and give this variable name, which is kind of not normal in large sections of code, but when you're just on the command line, perfectly reasonable thing to do. You can just put the number directly into it. You can also have other uses for this. So this is just squaring the number, and we're using the same variable names that we've given here. But imagine that you wanted to work out what the area of a cube is. So you can put the length as equal to 3. Then you can work out what your area is using the same function, squared, on the length, and then let's print out the area. And that will tell you what your area of your square is. So you can see that already this function can actually be quite useful in different situations. And that's why you write in little functions that you can reuse, because it saves you literally reinventing the wheel every time. And what you can also do is you can put this into a for loop. So instead of, say, one length here, let's say we have a list of lengths, and we can run a for loop with our function in that. So for length, in lengths, colon, so this will go through each length that's listed in here. Calculate the area is the function squared on that particular value of length that we're looking at. And let's in this case just print this out, because this is just an example of how this works in a for loop. So you can see it takes the first value, squares it, then the second one, squares it, and goes round third and fourth, and prints it out to screen as we asked it to. So there's lots of different things you can do with functions. They're an incredibly powerful building block of your code, and should be carefully prepared and carefully used. So the next video we're going to look at some tips on how to write a good function, and then you get to practice some of these yourselves. So I will see you on the next video, ready to continue.